Ahoy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Pirate National Committee. We are the United States Pirate Party, and I am your captain, Jolly Mitch of the United States Pirate Party, captain of the Illinois Nye, the Chicagoland Pirate Party, and as always, a friend of the show. I do see a number of people in attendance tonight, and per the request of our scribe, I will go in the alphabetical order of our PNC member states. So first, I'll call on our representatives from Arizona for IDs.
Blaze Henry, Arizona Captain and United States Vice Captain.
I'm Eva Cruzel, the current web director.
Thank you to our Arizona refs. Florida.
Wanda Ward, Florida Pirate Party.
Thank you. And it looks like it's just you tonight, Wanda. So thank you. Illinois.
Rowan Tipping, PR Director for US Pirates Party and Representative for Illinois Pirate Party.
And PR Director.
Yeah, I said. Sorry, did I?
Oh, did you say it? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry.
I see Jamie's nodding.
Yeah, I think Jamie's got your back. Don't you worry. Thank you.
You hear more often.
Thank you, Rowan. Ohio's next. No, right? No, Massachusetts. Massachusetts, please.
Shaking my head, Mitch.
Massachusetts chair of the Massachusetts Pirate Party and subbing in for Eli and Joe.
Thank you, Jamie. No Maryland. Now it's Ohio.
My apologies. I'm trying to shut my camera off. My computer's so slow.
Mars Vale, Ohio Pirate Party, and National Webmaster.
Thank you. Pennsylvania.
Drew Bingaman, Pennsylvania.
Thank you. And based on my observations, that is all of our PNC voting members in attendance tonight. So now I'll go to our observer members. Alabama.
Lily Boyd, United States Scribe.
Thank you. Nevada.
Hunter, Nevada.
Thank you. And I believe, Goro, I believe you're New York. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, you are correct. While I am in New York, I have not yet joined the New York branch. I know that they were only recently established, if I'm correct. But yes, I do need to get on that. As of right, yeah, as of right now, it's like although I live in New York, I help Makia with with stuff regarding Arizona.
You are all good. Thank you. Just like I said, we're just doing IDs right now. There's no need for an official New York Pirate Party at the moment. We're just happy to have a representative from the state of New York. And then last but certainly not least, North Carolina.
Hello, I'm James from North Carolina.
Thank you, James. And yes, Mars, one day I will learn the alphabet, preferably before the meeting starts. That said, let me ask, first of all, thank you everyone for being here tonight. And I was going to ask if there are any reports from committees, candidates, or state parties. I think that order was Wanda, Blaze, and then Drew, but if you guys think there was a different order, you can correct me.
It was Drew before me.
Very good. Thank you, Blaze. So in that case, it'll be Wanda, Drew, then Blaze.
I just wanted to ask Goro to please mute their mic. There's a bit of echo.
Oh, me? Yeah, that's unfortunately a pretty common occurrence of mine. I forget about it. I always have it maxed out when I'm talking to Kia, and I don't have feedback whenever I join a group. So let me try speaking and see how it goes.
Could you please just mute when you're not talking? Thank you.
Right on. Thank you both. Drew, go ahead.
Well, I have bad news about the campaign. Last Monday was the filing deadline for independent and third-party candidates. my campaign did not get enough signatures to even attempt the filing. So we're essentially, as far as viability, we're pretty much done. I'm sure I'll get some write-in votes in the general, but it's for this election, we're out. So this is not what I wanted to be saying to everybody at this point in the year. I wanted to be saying that yes, we got ballot access, and that we're going to be in the general, and we're going to be in debate. It's incredibly hard to convince people, even when you're talking to independent and third-party registered voters. It is incredibly difficult to convince them to sign for you. It is not difficult if you're a major party and you go to other people in your major party and they just sign. But yeah, it is incredibly difficult. We ran into, it was not one issue that sunk us. We had some people that volunteered that dropped out. We had several days that were the only days available for certain people to help canvass, and pouring down rain, which is not common this time of year in Pennsylvania. Normally our rains in Pennsylvania are April and May, and we've had a lot of rain this year, and some serious storms that have just made anything trying to do outside miserable. Even just last night we had a huge thunderstorm that it poured, and so we ran into those issues. We ran into issues where several of the local events would not accept us as a political entry that had in the past. So I didn't get a chance to do local engagement in the district in public events. And it was honestly, in the end, it was a dog pile of things that really really came down to it. And the meet and greets that I did set up, the one was fairly successful. I got about 15 signatures that night. But that was only because I was able to pull people in from a neighboring event. It was an event that I had at my library, and there was an event in the room next door. And when everybody was leaving, we were getting people to come in and talk to people, and getting them to sign. And that was very successful. But my second meet and greet at the library, unfortunately, was set up well in advance of a city council meeting in Sudbury, where they were deciding on whether to join ICE's 287G agreement. And everybody that was a political person that night went there. But at the same time, I advertised a lot on Facebook. It's very expensive to advertise elsewise. Tried to get the word out, and really didn't get much of a response with the second meet and greet event. But so in the end, lessons are learned. I don't know if I'm going to try this again in 2 years. If I do, I'm going to be going in from the beginning with the thought process this is going to be an independent campaign. I am not going to try the Democrat route again, because honestly, the Democrats were not helpful even when I was running as a Democrat. They picked. There were 3 candidates for the primary, and only one made the ballot because that one candidate got bodies to come down from the state party. So that person was basically chosen as the nominee, and that person is a county chair that's not my county, but the neighboring county that we share in the district. And I think that's wrong. I think if they were going to send bodies, they should have sent bodies for everybody. And they told me from the beginning that they don't do that. They don't send bodies, but they did. So I am very not happy with the way. I would say in general my local county Democrats are still very friendly to me and still wish me luck and have had several of them did help me out despite their party rules that actually strictly forbid them to help me out. So local Democrats I think have been helpful, but that's really it. Like anything, local people that you actually know are generally much more helpful than people that just randomly from state level. So in the end, we didn't make it, and it sucks because I think I had a really strong campaign. I think I had a strong candidacy. I think I had a strong platform and position statements. And I'm going to be putting a lot of that together for you guys so that I can share it with you. Just so that if anybody wants to use it or take a look at it or moving forward, it can be in shared knowledge stuff. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm open source. So, if you like it, use it or tweak it however you like. So I'll be getting some of that stuff together in the next few weeks, and so that the party can have some more resources on position statements and things. So that's all I have, and it's just not what I wanted to be saying tonight. I wanted to be saying that we've got enough signatures, and we're looking pretty strong, but that's not where we are. So thank you for all your support, you guys. It is, unfortunately, it is what it is. I just didn't really have enough bodies, and honestly, we got sabotaged by the weather and by losing people that got lured away and thinking that I'm a problem, that I'm a spoiler candidate. So so all right, guys. Yeah, that's it. I'm rambling now. I'm still kind of in the shock, and still kind of upset about it. I still feel like a bit of a failure here because I've been trying to make this go for a while. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Drew. And let me just say, you're not a failure, not even in the slightest. The fact that you tried, the fact that you put yourself out there, not only for the chance to just run for something, but the fact that you went up against an establishment. Like there are machine Democrats who were just trying to run their own people, and you came in and you said, "Well, no, I want to offer that opportunity to do something different." And offer something more. And that's no small task. That's no small thing. And I think that at the end of the day, we don't get to the point of we have enough signatures to get on the ballot. We were able to get ballot access without having these moments where we tried, and even if we came up short, we tried. And you think about the concept of paying it forward, that if you do something good for someone, they'll do it for three other people, and it keeps on, keeps on. I think that same thing applies to just inspiring people and just being able to say, hey, I'm doing this, and I hope that three other people see this and say, I can do that too. I can fight corruption. And I want to vote for that. And maybe they later on want to run for something, or maybe they convince other people that no, this is the type of candidate we need. Maybe you come back stronger than ever. So, Drew, I want to say thank you for all that you did, all that you've done. Thank you for giving it the old college try. And from this point on, we just keep getting better every time. That said, just for complete transparency, my power did cut out briefly. So I think we're off live stream, which we'll be able to get back onto live stream shortly if my power reactivates properly.
I believe the stream never stopped. I
Just-
have it open in another tab, and it still
So
was going.
it's still going. It never actually stopped running.
From what I saw.
Well, that would be really
I-
nice. Oh, I
I'll
guess
see if I
so.
can pull up some little technical issues music to play in the background.
Oh, it says technical. Is
Sorry.
is that true? Hang on. No, give me one moment. Let me, because
No,
the
it's just
Jitsi that I was running it on was obviously the live stream here. I think, are we back
Just a little
good?
it was just a little bit of an attempt at a stress relieving joke, but my apologies if it was.
No. You were all good, and mind you, the stream is all good as well. So I apologize about that. I was just really worried about, I don't know if we got Drew's heartfelt speech a second ago and explanation of what happened, but I just wanted to make sure that all in all, we'll know that Drew, we appreciate you
That was a
and
beautiful speech, Julian.
The YouTube chat says we didn't cut out.
good. Okay, that is good. You did not cut out. That is fantastic. So thank you to the YouTube chat and shout out to the YouTube chat. I see everyone, including Doc Agnew. So what's popping? That said, thank you, Drew. I did not forget the order. We can go Blaze and then Wanda. I'm sorry, Lily. I believe you actually were the one after Blaze.
Just, Drew, even though I don't know you from your statements, like you are no failure, man. It takes a tremendous amount of courage.
Goro, if you're not talking, can you please mute yourself? Is that okay? Thank you.
Well, no,
I was just going to
My apologies.
say that Goro shouldn't be here. This is meant as a closed meeting of the PNC. He's not acting in any capacity that he should even be here. Sorry, I just wanted to raise that point of order.
Is there any objection? I apologize. I'm not sure how Roberts would have me handle such a.
You make a ruling here.
That I could simply make a ruling on this. Well, I mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess just for point of clarification or point of order on my own right, what would be the fundamental difference between a Goro being in attendance as a observer from New York versus a, well, I guess there's no active. Yeah, I see
He's
what you're
not
saying.
acting in any capacity with either a forming New York Pirate Party or the New York Pirate Party that got sent to observer status. So
yeah, no, that is.
There's no reason you should be here. This is a closed meeting.
I suppose that's a fair assessment. So Goro, next week we do have open meetings, and I do invite you to return for the open meeting. But and if you are ever interested in having a discussion about reforming a New York Pirate Party, by all means, Liz would be the person to speak to. But I will actually I will side with the room here and just ask that you come back next week for the open meeting.
My apologies. I was just here to support Nakia, but yeah, sorry about that.
No, you are all good, Doro. Thank you so much for popping in, but we will see you next week.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a good one, everybody.
You as well. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
So I apologize, Blaze. You may go ahead, and then Lily, if there was anything besides that, you all have the floor after Blaze. But otherwise, Blaze, it's on you.
Okay. As per requested, I'm gonna put the updates in Pirate Chat. This is pretty much what we had accomplished this week. Writing campaign is picking up speed again. We're working on yard signs and video ideas stuff. Me and Maggie are coordinating DIY yard sign. I got 2 of them today. But yeah, that's pretty much what we have.
Right on, Blaze. Thank you. If you could send me that as well in the Signal chat, then I can condense that and have that posted in tomorrow's in case you missed it. So thank you kindly. Excuse me. Well, thank you, Blaze. Lily, I think that your hand was just in regards to the attendance. Was there anything else?
There's something for from platform for tonight, but that's later on the agenda.
Perfect. All right. So then let me ask, is there anything else from others with states, committees, or candidates? Want to go ahead?
I just want to briefly say that the Florida Pirate Party will be meeting next Saturday. So any Florida folks who are interested in attending, please hop into the Florida Pirate Party Discord server. That is all.
Right on. Thank you, Wanda. And like I said, if anyone in the chat is in Florida, you can join their Discord server and you can pop in and find out more about that, or just visit the Florida Pirate Party website. Which, Wanda, would that be flpirates.org?
Give me just 1 second.
Well,
I think you
Yes,
can
yes,
get
it
to our
is.
Discord from there. Yeah.
well, what if that is indeed the case, whatever it ends up being, I'll make sure it gets posted in the chat. So thank you kindly. I'll just state for the record for Illinois, we did not meet today. We were initially that was written in that would be the plan. I think we're just going to end up meeting next week, as you know, as it was meant to be a bi-weekly thing. We were going to have the meeting next week regardless. So we're just gonna get back into it, and maybe we'll have to start it a half hour early, try to get as much as we can. We'll see. Ron, we'll get there when we get there. So otherwise, my own candidacy for the Midlothian Village Board, I really just left it as the announcement on the Facebook page for the Midlothian Pirate Party. I haven't really done anything beyond that initial rollout. This Wednesday will be another village board meeting, which I plan on attending. I plan on having answers to what I was given the last time when I came to the board meeting and asked about their board's position on the flock cameras, to which everyone on the board was pro flock, and it was really demoralizing. But after 3 weeks, I think I can turn around and give some answers. And I don't need to convince all of them, but if I get in office, I just need to convince 3 of them, and we can cancel the contract. And it'll never get canceled if I don't try. So that said, that's all I have for the Illinois Pirate Party. That's all I have for my candidacy. And if there's anything else and nothing else, we could jump into the first pieces of business. So I will ask, is there anything else before we jump in? I am hearing none. Lily, I will ask what's on the agenda today, but I know the first piece of business I'd like us to jump into.
On the agenda for old business is discussion on conference location. A deadline was set for tonight for submitting a location, with a subsequent deadline in around a month for the PNC to decide on location. And for new business, Jacob Andrews' unendorsement, a updated foreign policy plank, and a financial policy proposal.
Thank you, Lily. I also, it was a late edition. I apologize if it didn't make it onto the agenda, but based on the last time that there were conflicts with meetings that should or shouldn't have been canceled with the holidays, I did write out a list of all the days that would be coming up that are either going to be on holidays or on holiday weekends, with my suggestion being that we move ahead of time, get ahead of it, and just, say that we will not have meetings on those days. We can get there when we get there, but I do have that list and I can, post it when it comes time. But I think it'd just be easier for everyone to know ahead of schedule when we won't have meetings and if they'll be open or not open or so on and so forth. That said, let's jump into the first piece of pressing business I think we need to jump into, and that is the Jacob Anders unendorsement. Rowan, you did have your hand up first. You have your hand up again. I'll let you take the floor on this one because I think you're one of the proponents, I should say.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me space here. I was obviously gone for 2 weeks, so I'll first start there. So I haven't been here, so I apologize for that. But I realized while I was away that there was a few meetings where I think Jacob Anders was present, and then he received the endorsement. And since then, I've done just some. I mean, and other people have as well, obviously, but members of the party have done background research and have found multiple worrying things that that I question, and hopefully many other members of the Pirate Party question his ability to be a good public servant and a good candidate for public office. I mean, it goes really deep, but the original things I found were on his Twitter, where he twice on his campaign account used the R word, as well as whatchamacallit. Sorry, let me open up my document. Give me a second. I was gonna have my laptop was not charged, Yes, and then he did 2 tweets as well about the Graham Plattner situation, which is a very controversial situation. And then if you look further, later after introducing those 4 tweets to party members, I was shown further information about past situations he's been where he's been guilty of. I believe it was a harassment case. He pleaded guilty, and he's had other accusations put put towards him for other things that are egregious. And I was very vocal that I think that with these alone, that he's not a viable candidate, and therefore he shouldn't have our endorsement because he'll tarnish our name. The Pirate Party email also received an email from someone based out of where was it? Sorry, my brain's also a little bit
For their
It's-
privacy, Rowan, where the email came from is
yeah,
unimportant.
doesn't
The
matter.
subject
Sorry, it's
matter.
someone who was in contact and has been around him, and they expressed great worry in him being endorsed by us for various reasons, for accusations, and again for the harassment case that's on a. I can send a link if I find it. This expressed worry for us endorsing him, and it just seems like a bit of a missight on our part to have endorsed him. The first thing we should do, in my opinion, is officially unendorse him, and that's what I was told is to amend the motion that was previously made to endorse him. So I'll do that. But just quickly to say, we also talked about in the future creating a vetting process so we don't have an issue like this again, where we have a background check on any candidates that get in contact with us before we give them any access to pirate platforms like socials or meetings. So that will be in the works very soon. But yeah, can I present the motion, or do you want me to wait, Mitch?
I mean, if you'd like to present the motion now, you may. I don't want to interrupt you if you're going to present it. I just wanted to state for the record on the subject of a vetting committee. There's a, yeah, why did it? I am currently in the. Oh, there must have been 2 live streams because I'm still in it. Beside the point, I saw it too. It freaked me out for a second. But beside the point, this is, if nothing else, a clear-cut case of why we do need a vetting committee, not just for when we have members trying to get onto the Pirate National Committee board, which is a reason that we brought up vetting to begin with. But now it seems that if we have candidates who are reaching out for our endorsement and seeking our endorsement, it is good to have a vetting committee behind it. Historically speaking, and I spoke with Liz on this, and we've all had conversations. Some of us in the chat, some of us have, maybe one-on-one talked about this, but the Pirate Party has never had this many people reaching out and looking for our endorsement, and we've never had this many pirate candidates at the national level in a single year. And up to this point, it has been as simple as, well, let's have them at a meeting and let's talk to them, and let's have them on Talk the Plank and let's try to get to know them that way. Unfortunately, the weak points, as we saw, was if a meeting is rushed or if we don't have that proper vetting process, things can fall through the cracks and we can end up in situations like this. And I fully acknowledge that the meeting on the 26th was rushed. That is my fault. I apologize. That's a meeting that I should have went out and canceled, asked Blaze to run it. I should have asked for it to be tabled. I should have asked for it to be pushed back. Whatever the case, I could have had 100 things happen that none of them did. And I do apologize for that. That said, I'm glad that this is happening now. I'm glad that there's a course correction. Frankly, I think it would look better on our end to give a valid explanation as to why we are retracting an endorsement versus if we just said, no, we didn't endorse him, sorry. Which would have been fine. We did that with Chris Erickson, but I feel like to be able to turn back and say, no, this is where we draw our red lines and this is how we stand on this one, I think there is a net good in that ultimately. I do wish that it didn't have to come to this in terms of us being in the situation that we're in. I hope that this decision is unanimous, and obviously there may not be people who are as gung-ho as some of you have been, but at the same time, I think that based on the information that we've since received and based on the information that we have, the information that we've been given, it's hard to embarrass a party called the Pirate Party, but I feel thoroughly embarrassed. So it's one of those things that's, we, I'm glad that we're addressing it now. That said, Rowan, you technically have not made a motion just yet, but I will.
I can wait. Yeah. I know there's a few hands up, so we can also just discuss it first and then go forward with it, because I realize it's going to be a subject that people want to discuss. I just wanted to briefly, the reason I raised my hand was not to do the motion, but you mentioned the reason as to why we want to retract the endorsement, and I think just to put it in simple terms, it's just worrying accusations and honestly just a bad track record that's really easily defined, or easy to find via, well, not really easy to find, but quite at least somewhat accessible on the public internet. So yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you, Rowan. It'll be Wanda, then Drew.
I motion that we rescind our endorsement of Jacob Anders.
Second.
Thank you. There is a motion and a second to renounce the endorsements. Drew,
Rescind was the wording.
Rescind.
Yeah, rescind, retract, with
Revoke.
Same thing.
That said, Drew, you did have your hand up. Otherwise,
no. I was basically going to do the same thing because if we're going to have some kind of parliamentary procedure, you make a motion, it gets a second, and then you go into discussion. So that this is probably the more appropriate way to do business as a committee. So that was basically what I was going to suggest, and Wanda took care of it ahead of me. So. And I seconded, so I think we're good to go.
Okay, well, thank you both for keeping us true to procedure. So I do appreciate that. That said, we have had brief discussion leading up to this point. Just we kind of know that where we stand and why we're doing this. But I do leave the floor open if there is any comments that need to be said or suggestions that need to be made. One thing that beyond the vote that is going to happen momentarily. It's just the need for a vetting committee. That not only do I think it's important for not only the PNC candidates, but for candidates who are seeking our endorsement, but I think that there is a good use in having a vetting committee who are just searching up independent candidates anyways and finding, well, hey, this one really aligns with our values. We should reach out to them. And they've already been vetted in the sense that the vetting committee found this person, did their research. And again, it's not just simply find the person. I still want people to do the same vetting they'd be doing for anyone that reached out to us. However, I see multiple uses and multiple goods coming out of such a vetting committee. And nor do I also don't see any bad. I don't see how a committee that vets candidates can backfire on us. I think it's a net good. That said, Lily, then Mars.
I just wanted to ask Eric to ID.
Thank you. Eric, you did pop in late. If I could just get a name and state, you could ID and you'd be good to go.
Eric, representing Indiana.
Thank you. And Indiana is a voting member for the record. Thank you. So, Lily, was that it?
Yep.
Perfect. Mars, go ahead.
I was just going to add that researching candidates that haven't reached out would not necessarily be a part of vetting. So if we were going to give them extra responsibilities besides, a basic background check, I feel like it would require a different name than just vetting, or else people would be getting themselves into something they aren't expecting.
Duly noted, Mars. Thank you for that point. I believe it's Drew, Rowan, Hunter. I think that is the order.
I just would like to say that we're discussing the rescinding of the of the nomination and not the vetting committee. So that would be a separate motion and a separate discussion. So if we could keep it on topic for that would be great. Because this is a serious thing. I mean, we screwed up. We realize it, and I maybe my reasons for seconding this motion and supporting it are not the same as everybody else's, but I agree with the motion, which is why I seconded it.
No, and I appreciate you, Drew. It's that which is going to keep this meeting from becoming a 2-hour affair. So I appreciate you, Drew. Thank you, Rowan. Go ahead.
I was just honestly, I should. Or I'm gonna put it down. Let me how do I put it down? There we go. I was gonna say what Drew was gonna say. To be honest, that that's a separate thing. I think we should try to pass this motion, and I was just basically gonna say, if anyone disagrees, that they should voice it now. But other than that, we got the first and the second, and I feel like we can get on to the vote unless someone really is against it.
So, Rowan, let me ask: are you calling the vote now?
Yeah, I'll call. I mean, I wanted to see if anyone was going to respond first, and if they had anything they wanted to say first. But yeah, if no one's wants to say anything, then I'll call the vote.
Well,
Yeah.
I will say that is acknowledged. I will briefly, and I'm sorry if this is out of procedure, but Hunter did have his hand up before you
Oh yeah.
technically
Sorry.
called the vote. I did want to
Sorry.
just check in with Hunter before I acknowledge your call.
I would say I would talk during the conversation about the vetting committee and not this one.
Aye, Captain. In that case, Rowan has called for the vote. Illinois has called for the vote. I will go down the line. I will call it. I don't think unless we does anyone not want to do a unanimous vote. Otherwise, I will just go down the states. Let's just call it Arizona.
Aye.
Thank you, Florida.
Aye.
Thank you, Illinois.
Aye.
Thank you, Indiana.
Aye.
Thank you, Ohio. Just do it. Just answer, and then I'll call.
Oh my.
Leave me alone. Ja- Sorry, I'm going in alphabetical order, and I skipped you again. Jamie, please, Massachusetts.
Aye.
Thank you, Ohio.
Aye, but you missed North Carolina.
North Carolina is not a voting member.
Oh, I thought you called them before. Sorry.
No, no. Thank you, and Pennsylvania.
Aye.
Thank you. That is a unanimous vote. So I actually do not feel any urge to wait until, and in case you missed it, is posted tomorrow night. I will try to get an announcement up as soon as I can tonight. And obviously, the news will be repeated in case you missed it.
Yeah, Mitch. Let's talk about that. Sorry, not just but could we coordinate that?
Of course, Ron.
Announcement
I
about
will.
that. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you. Jamie, go ahead.
So the previous endorsement blog post, are you going to like cross it out, or I mean you shouldn't delete it, but I guess maybe update it to link to the new post or something like that?
So I don't believe I deleted it. However, I didn't see it on the website as it is the original one, which may have been moved to the drafts or something. If that is the case, whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
there will be a new post updating on our position or regarding the endorsement of the Tennessee '05 congressional race, however we frame it. But there will be a clear cut. We did endorse, and we are no longer endorsing.
Okay.
So there will not be any. What's the word I'm looking for?
Waffling.
Yeah, sure. That's not where I was going, but I'll take that. There will be no waffling. So thank you, Jamie. Uh, that said, that piece of business is over. Lily, what would be the next piece of business we jump into tonight?
The next piece of business and old business would be discussing the conference location for 2027.
The conference location for 2027. Thank you. Now I want to see if perhaps I can pull back up what was originally the list that I had, and I should be able to. But I put together a list based on every single suggestion that we had received, based on the submissions. And unfortunately, because my computer went out, I don't have it in front of me. However, I do remember what the list was, more or less. So there was at least one suggestion each for cities such as St. Louis, Memphis, Huntsville, Alabama, Oregon, or I'm sorry, Baltimore, Maryland, received about 4 submissions. 4 people suggested we should do Baltimore. Portland, Oregon received about 2. Mobile, Alabama received 2. Peoria, Illinois received 1, which I think is very funny. and we saw a lot of repeats. Pennsylvania saw Pittsburgh receive 1 vote, Philadelphia received 2 votes. So we saw a lot of suggestions, but ultimately it was a lot of repeats and a lot of people. Tucson actually, Blaze, there was a vote for Tucson and then a vote that simply read Arizona deserves it. And I want to try to find the ether pad because I would prefer to have it typed out in front of us. But as of right now, these are some of the suggestions. I want to open the floor because none of these suggestions are set in stone. These aren't things that we have to choose from this list. However, there were 15 cities ultimately that were picked. I do have my suggestion of how we should handle this. However, I will leave it up to you guys before I make any suggestions. I want to leave the floor open to discussion. So, Lily, you have the floor.
I just wanted to ask if you're at all able to get that actual submitted list or the results.
I should be able to. So, while I try and pull that, oh, here we go. Fantastic. So that list, and I'll go in ascending order from the 15 upward, and that way it'll show that the most voted suggestions are the last ones I list. But it would be Peoria, Illinois, Austin, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, Las Vegas, Nevada, Huntsville, Alabama, Pittsburgh, PA, Memphis, Tennessee, Seattle, Washington, the Sparks, Reno, Tahoe, Nevada area, somewhere in that ballpark. I wonder who suggested that one. St. Louis, Missouri. And then 2 votes from this point on for Mobile, Alabama, Tucson, Arizona, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Portland, Oregon, and 4 votes submitted for Baltimore, Maryland. So that was 15 total suggestions. Obviously, going into this meeting, Baltimore and Mobile were the top 2 that everyone seemed to be ready to duke it out for. Which fair enough. I personally believe that this conference should have a little twang in its accent. And I think that it's about time that we, spread out the love and, hit a more Southern style conference, I guess. That said, well, it's true. You laugh, but if it's between Baltimore and Mobile, then
You said Southern style conference. It sounds like it sounds like you're talking about food. I'm sorry, maybe a Southern style conference. I love a Southern style conference.
that said, it's shaping up to be a Southern style conference, regardless of where this location ends up being. Now I'm going to call on Drew in just a moment, but it does seem that we're going to be arguing about these 2 cities going into this. And before we go any further, I just want to address that headache before we get started. Drew, go ahead.
I just want to ask if we have, uh, in addition to people voting on where they want to have the conference, do we have volunteers to put those in each city to be the hosts essentially, whether they live there or not? That doesn't matter to me, but generally locals would be better to, the more local you are to the city, it would be you'd be better to know the city, and but they not necessarily have to. But we do, I would think, need somebody as a volunteer for each candidate city before we just decide on, we're going to do it in Mobile. I think Wanda said that they'd be willing to help, but so what I'm asking is, what if we're going to vote on things, do we have volunteers for those cities?
Absolutely. And I will say that during the submission, I did make sure to ask, like, are you in the city or state you're suggesting? Are you close enough? Are you willing to help volunteer? Is there a state pirate party in the city or state you're suggesting? So those questions have been asked. And I will say, Drew, that a lot of them, the answer was no, that people are just suggesting things. And however, that is not true of Mobile and Baltimore, which seem to be the 2 places that we do have the help, that we do have the volunteers. Not only is Wanda in Pensacola, but we have Lily in Alabama itself. So we do have people who can consolidate together and be able to meet and organize it. But we also, that is true of Baltimore. So again, I want to of all the options we do have, and Arizona, I'm not excluding you in these conversations. You will see in a moment what I have in store. But Wanda, you may go ahead.
I did just want to quickly chime in and say that me and Lily would be happy to help with planning should the conference end up being in Mobile.
Right on. Thank you. So I will just move forward with a suggestion. This is something that I had discussed with Mars when I went out for Waffle House. Well, actually, no, Hunter. If you do have something, I'd like to hear it from you first before I make any suggestions. If you want to, you may go ahead.
Sorry, I did the Zoom thing where I talk and I'm not unmuted. I'm sorry. I was gonna argue for Nevada, but I accidentally hit the hand up. Sorry.
Mitch, you're muted.
Fuck. Thank you. Thank you, Hunter. And I will say that Nevada is a very deserving state and it'd be a very fun conference, no matter what part of Nevada we're in. So that is acknowledged and addressed and heard. Uh, Jamie, go ahead.
I think rather than have people suggest cities, I think it really is important to have people on the ground who are willing to do the work to make it happen. And I would rather, if Hunter wants it in Sparks, Nevada, then Hunter should have a group of people who are willing to make that happen. And if folks want to have it in Baltimore, Maryland, or Mobile, Alabama, or wherever, Peoria, Illinois, there needs to be people who are willing to do it. To just say, we're going to randomly decide and then just go and make it happen. I don't feel like that builds power locally. And my suggestion, having helped to get the one in Boston done, um, is that you need people on the ground who are willing to commit to it and make it happen as early as possible. So
Thank you, Jamie. And I couldn't agree more. And actually, it'll be a point I build on in a second. Hunter, go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, so not yet arguing for Nevada, but one of the reasons I put it forward is I think Nevada, wherever you are in Nevada, Northern Nevada or Southern Nevada, we are uniquely set up for special events, conferences. We have the airports. While we don't have public transport, we do have other local transport infrastructure. And I do know that we have active pirates in Washoe County and Clark County, as well as in Washoe County, the support of the Democratic Party. And we also, if you host it in Northern Nevada, there is the steamship Dixie in Lake Tahoe, so we can do it on a boat.
Hunter pulling at my heartstrings, knowing we could have a conference on a boat is like magic words to me. So thank you, Hunter. That was one of my big selling points for Boston. And by the way, great choice. So fun. It was such a great conference. Thank you again, Jamie, and the whole Massachusetts contingent. You guys, phenomenal job. Very worthy of a proper 20th anniversary conference. That said, I want to make a suggestion. It is a suggestion Mars knows about. It is a suggestion that I don't know how it's going to be taken, given that it doesn't resolve the main issue of the 2027 conference. But I want to put forward a idea. We only have three conferences left in this decade: the 27 conference, the 28 conference, the 29 conference. After that, it's a new decade, and it's going to be, keep on keeping on. And sometimes decades really don't matter. 2009 and 2010 didn't really feel too different than one another, so it's not like things are changing suddenly because it's a new decade. However, seeing that we could just finish out this decade in one fall swoop, I think we should. And I think we should not only vote on this year's, but I think we should vote on the next 3 years. And I'm not saying that needs to happen two nights, but my suggestion would be either in 2027 or 2029, whoever gets this year, the other year would get it. Since it seems we have volunteers in Baltimore and volunteers from Mobile, I would suggest that whichever one gets the 27 conference, the other gets the 29 conference. Further, my suggestion would be that the 28 conference is held in Tucson, Arizona, because I am of the agreement that Arizona does deserve it. And I think that my initial hope or idea of having the 2028 conference a presidential year where we could have it either on a native reservation or have our keynote speaker be a representative from that nation or both. I understand that the Tohono tribe right next to Tucson would be it'd be right there. And again, this isn't to objectify having a Native American or an indigenous speaker. However, it is something that in the back of my head, it's something that I've wanted to be able to do is give a voice to an indigenous person, an indigenous group, indigenous causes during a presidential cycle when that's not going to be on everyone's mind. Especially when the growing surveillance state impacts them just as much as it impacts any of us. Uh, so my suggestion, whether this happens tonight, whether we actually get to the conclusion, but it would be that 27 is either Mobile or Baltimore, 28 is Tucson, and then 29 would be the reverse of whoever got 27, 29 gets it. So that'd be either Mobile or Baltimore. That is how I would put forward my suggestion for this. I am open to opinions. I'm open to comments, concerns, anything. But as of right now, this is only a discussion because the deadline to pick the conference was tonight. So Jamie's comments completely taken in consideration as we do need people on the ground. I think Baltimore and Mobile will have those people. However, it's just going to be a matter of how soon do we want it and how soon are you guys willing to push for it. So Lily and then Rowan, you guys have the floor.
I just wanted to state some concerns that I have about setting a conference location that's that far out. Who's available as volunteers in areas changes quite a lot over time, and I wouldn't want to potentially commit ourselves to something that won't end up working out.
Heard. Absolutely. Thank you, Lily. Rowan, go ahead.
Okay, so I just wanted, I guess, like, clarity. You said again. Sorry, I know I've been gone for 2 weeks, and so that's not really helpful. So, are we planning on voting for the conference location for next year tonight, or are we? Like, sorry, I'm trying to understand the point of the
Well,
conversation right now.
as of right now, the deadline was simply to pick, if I'm not mistaken. That, however, Lily, how was it phrased? What would be the actual deadline for tonight?
The deadline for people to submit cities to consider was
Okay.
set for tonight with like around a month, I believe the September 6th meeting to actually pick something. No actions required tonight.
Okay.
So we're just, so I'm not trying to sound judgmental. I'm just trying to clarify. So we're just talking about the prospects based on the input we've had from the forum.
It sounds like it. The form was more so where our supporters would like to see the conference. However, in the grand scheme of things, Jamie's correct that the conference is going to have to come where we do have the people. You know, and again, to whoever suggested Seattle, I would love to have a pirate conference in Seattle. I've never been to Seattle. We don't have anyone in Seattle. There's no way, there's no logistical path to have a conference in Seattle yet. Not to say that we won't get there one day, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So
Can I
suggestions like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just so I know a lot of people are waiting, so I just wanted to, but you finish first, and I'll make my point. Sorry.
I was just saying, just so to that point, I would say that we weren't looking at that list based on a suggestion of, these are the only cities we could choose from. We could still turn around and be like, well, we choose Milwaukee, even though it wasn't on the list. However, which again, me and Rowan could plan a Milwaukee conference, no issue. But that's not really what the point I'm trying to make here is. Yeah, the point is simply that the list that was submitted was from our supporters to give us their input. However, we are the ones ultimately voting on it, and it's ultimately our suggestions and our arguments that are going to be the ones that count.
So just to quickly finish it off, are we? So we're just going to discuss this now, and then we're going to move on. Or like, what are we trying to achieve? Something? I guess that's my question. Sorry, for a lot of the agenda items, there's like A to B kind of thing, and we're just kind of like, like in other words, well, if people have more to say still, actually, please do say it. But if we're not deciding anything,
if somebody wants to make a motion to the effect for the conference location, they can, but nothing's required. If nobody wants to have a discussion, we can move on.
I don't think we have an actual the actual deadline for having a location picked isn't until September. You said, because that
okay,
correct?
so we got time. Okay, I'll be quiet now. Sorry.
Right on. Thank you, Rowan. It's Wanda, then Hunter.
I wanted to say that we should probably reset the live stream. It's coming up on an hour.
I can do that right now. Let me just stop and start, and we'll get going again. All right, we're back in living color. So, Wanda, if there was anything else, you still have the floor. If not, Hunter, you will have the floor.
You know what? I'll bite the bullet. Motion to hold the 2027 conference in Mobile, Alabama.
Whoa, jeez. There's no second on the table yet.
You know
I
what?
said a
Why not? You know
second.
what? Oh,
Wait, who said a second?
I did.
Oh, okay.
You
So
didn't come through.
yeah, so there's a motion and a second for Mobile. Hunter, you still have your hand up. You have the floor.
If I may share my screen, may I?
You by all means.
So can everyone see my Google Maps screen? Or
Hold on.
No.
No.
No. Oh,
Now I can.
okay.
Yep.
Oh, you know what? Give me a second. I think I know exactly what's. Sorry,
No.
Jitsi doing Jitsi things. Can you guys see Google Maps now?
Yes.
So this is kind of like my having grown up in a community that is hospitality focused. I kind of know what to look for, I guess. And so I'm going to use Tucson as an example, and then we can pop over to Mobile. So the reason I actually like Tucson, here's the airport. And then within a quarter mile, here are 10 hotels that are reasonably priced that can host us as people as well as the event space. Plus, there's activities, Pima Air and Space. So if I go to Mobile, I have no idea about Alabama. I've never been there. What's the airport called?
I believe they have Mobile Regional Airport.
Or is it? Is the international airport is that a thing? I'm very confused.
Well, maybe they changed the name. I don't know.
So, let's go to the regional because I bet that is. Oh yeah, that one. So I'd say that is my biggest in general issue is both airports are not super like big. So I suspect that like if I were to put in flights, they would be extremely expensive versus Tucson. Not looking at where I live, but flights to Tucson would be cheaper just because they support major airlines and more airlines, I guess, if that makes sense. Versus, so not necessarily arguing for Tucson, but arguing for locations that have bigger airports or unless, yeah, I don't know about Mobile.
Thank you, Hunter. I believe it is Marsden Blaze.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, since Tucson already has a guaranteed year to it, I don't know why we're trying to argue for Tucson for 27.
Well, I don't know if there's any guarantee here. Technically, we didn't guarantee the 28 conference in Tucson. That is my suggestion. However, I mean, I guess because Tucson technically could come a year earlier, so we could still always vote on Tucson. But my suggestion was definitely Tucson and 28. But it ultimately all cities are being considered at the moment. Although I will reiterate that we did have a motion in a second to have Mobile be the city. So for what it's worth, I think that does need to be at least discussed a little further into detail. But Rowan, then I apologies. Blaze, then Rowan, then Jamie.
I was just going to concur on what Hunter said, and that the airport here is very, very great. I do recommend it. And the hotels nearby are also pretty cheap. There's a lot of hotels around the airport, and so it's pretty easy. And it's not that far away from the Tohono Nation. So if that's where we host the conference, whether it's 27 or 28, then that's definitely something to consider. So because the airport's not that far away from the nation's area. So yeah, that's all I was going to say.
Thank you, Blaze. Rowan, then Jamie.
I think, well, one thing I want to say, I think, at least from my understanding from Hunter's presentation, is that it wasn't, the point of it wasn't to specifically root for Tucson. If I'm wrong, correct me. I think the point mainly was just to say that we should take into consideration with any location we're suggesting. I mean, for example, Jamie first said who's volunteering, who can actually set it up and do the groundwork, and Hunter's saying the secondary part is how are we gonna get people to get there? Like how easy it is, how are we gonna get flights, is there buses, trains, whatever, and is there amenities like like housing or hotels and event space. So, and I think that's also important. So for anyone who's suggesting any location, I think and that's why I'm kind of on the edge of voting tonight for any location because I think it takes like we should before we even finalize anything, we should have an airport or a train station. We should have hotels. We should have these like on a document or something listed, and then we can make that decision more like full out. So I feel like right now we're kind of making decisions on vibes and like the cultures of these areas, which that's a factor we must include as well. But there's also a practical level of again like the groundwork and the amenities or and the resources or whatever for an event like this.
Thank you, Rowan. Jamie, and then I do apologize because between Wanda and Hunter, I did not see who had your hands up first. So after Jamie, I'll leave it to honor system as to who goes next.
We're a party that believes in making decisions based on evidence. And to Rowan's point, I feel like we're doing this based on vibes. And I would rather that if there are groups of people who want to put these on, then we should come up with the criteria by which we will evaluate them, and they can provide the information, and then we evaluate them, rather than be like, well, this person said they could do it here, or this person said they could do it there, and how do we feel about that? Like, what are the requirements that we have of the hosting committees to put together a plan, to put together data that we can then evaluate? I would feel more comfortable with the decision based on real data rather than just kind of a vibes based, do we like this or do we like that? My 2 cents.
Thank you, Jamie. And then, like I said, honor system because I did not see who was the first.
Wanda.
All right, Wanda, then Hunter.
Oh, I just wanted to add on to discussion about Mobile that Mobile does have access to the Amtrak network, and also anyone who flies into Pensacola International Airport. I have room for about 4 people in my car if they need help getting to Mobile from Pensacola, should they fly into Pensacola.
And for what that's worth, I think I will offer these services if I have the means to do so. I will certainly be happy, no matter where it is, to try to rent a larger vehicle so that I could also pick up people from the airport. I was unfortunately unable to offer that service this year, but that's only because public transit was so good it almost seemed ridiculous. But that said, we don't have that everywhere. So uh, I will offer that as well, no matter where we go. If it's Tucson, Baltimore, or Mobile, I will certainly look into trying to be a option for transport if need be. Hunter, go ahead.
And then I think another factor is the ability to continue to host the event if something were to happen to whoever is leading the effort on the ground. I have unfortunately seen that happen, at work and whatnot. So again, not arguing for Sparks, but just an example. I am very confident that for a very low cost, if something were to happen to me, Mitch or James or Rowan could honestly contact the government here. They would connect you with the fixer and your conference would be held. I am sure there are abilities like that in these other locations, but I do know there are cities where, because they're not hospitality focused, that industry doesn't exist. And so you'd be kind of at the whim of Craigslist.
Right on. Thank you, Hunter. And all very good points, everyone who's brought up points so far. I don't think there's been anything where it's just people hearing themselves talk. I think everything has been a valid concern, a valid suggestion, and a valid point being raised. So thank you, everyone, for making this a productive conversation. What I would suggest, and again, I know my suggestion was already put forward, and I still do hold that suggestion, even with Lily's excellent point of things can change, and in a few years, I will maintain that suggestion is a good one. Although, of course, I think my own suggestions are good. But I will suggest that maybe next week or 2 weeks from now, however we wish to play it, I would want to suggest that, the Baltimore crowd, the Mobile crowd, and the Tucson crowd, and whoever else wishes to really put forward their case, get together. What would be the ways of getting into the city? What would be the ideals? What are your options for hotels? Where would it potentially be hosted? And what are some things to do during the conference? Jamie had an excellent what's the word I'm looking for? Itinerary. That is the word I'm indeed looking for this time. And we had, not only did we have an excellent itinerary, we had options, and we had plenty of options to pick and choose what we want to do. So I would suggest, whether this gets, voted on tonight or table, whatever. However, my suggestion to the board would be that the separate camps who really believe in a city and believe that they have the capability and capacity of hosting, that we get together as many factors as we can and put it forward so that we can make a proper pitch and know exactly what we're looking at. So it doesn't become a thing based on vibe, so it becomes a thing based on data. But Rowan, go ahead.
Sorry, the only thing I was going to mention is that there's still a motion on the floor. I know, and there's a second, so I don't know how we're going to deal that by just procedurally. That's what's going on. So, are we going
There's
to?
a
What are we going
motion
to
and
do?
a second. If there's no further discussion, then the motion gets voted on, unless whoever made the motion decides to rescind their motion.
Okay.
Well, will there be no further discussion on this matter? If no further discussion, since there was a motion and a second, I suppose that means we will call the vote tonight. So then, as such, I will go down the line based on voting members in attendance. The first voting member I see is Arizona.
Nay.
Thank you. Florida.
Aye.
Drew, did you have
Yeah,
something?
no, I just would like to have the motion restated for everybody because
Yes,
it was a while
apologies.
ago.
Apologies. Yes. So Florida had called the motion to have the conference in Baltimore. So want to try and want to try
Uh,
to
no, Mobile.
Mobile. The conference in Mobile is the motion on the table. To which Arizona has voted no, and Florida. Did you actually get your yes vote out yet, Florida?
Yes.
Yes. So currently it is tied 1-1 on the motion to have Mobile be the host city of the 27 conference. Next up would be Illinois.
Nay.
Thank you. Indiana.
Nay.
Thank you. Massachusetts.
Nay, but no aspersions on Mobile.
Yes, I
I just don't
think
like the process. So
yeah, I think you guys I think you tried to pull it a quick one just a little too early, and that's okay. I do appreciate that. That said, Ohio
Aye.
and Pennsylvania.
I don't know that it matters, but I think I'm a nay.
Well, every vote matters, but you are correct. That the nays did have it. So unfortunately, Wanda, it was a good effort. I like the try, but not this time. So I will state for the record that that does not put Mobile out of contention necessarily. That just means that this particular moment, it was agreed upon not yet, which is fair. We may vote later down the line. It just that vote will not happen this meeting. So with that, there was the motion has failed. We still do not have a location for the conference, so I will once again make my suggestion that during the next meeting, or next two meetings, however we wish to play it, please come with all the logistics laid out. Some hotel suggestions, how many hotel options there'd be, where we may host the conference, what we might do, everything that you could think of. And if you have questions, by all means, ask anyone who's been to these conferences or organized these conferences. But I think we should have together a proper list so we know that what we'd be looking at and kind of get an idea of what we'd be voting on. If we get it, what would we be looking at? But Jamie, then Blaze.
Can we provide such a list to the different hosting committees so they know what we're asking for?
Yes, I can whip up a list unless you know the existence of a list that we may already have, but otherwise I can think of a few things that I would like to see on such a list, and I could throw it, give it the all three pirate roll and make sure we're good to go. But I can put that out and make sure that everyone has an opportunity to fill out such a form or have a list.
Maybe, sorry, let me just, I'll offer this advice. Why don't you just put it on Etherpad and share it around and see what people want to put up?
I can certainly do that. So thank you, Jamie. Blaze, go ahead.
I was just gonna simply suggest that for those, let's just say it's just Baltimore, Mobile, and Tucson, that with that itinerary established first, then we then do like a ranked choice voting sort of system to see what everyone thinks, or what the results would be, since we all have our own opinions, conversations, and suggestions. So at a certain point, it becomes ranked choice voting. At that point, that's what's gonna have to settle this. But this is just a suggestion. We don't have to do that.
Well, I'm certainly not opposed, and you're not the first person to suggest that this ends up being a ranked choice voting process. So I think when it's all said and done, when we have at least a top three cities or top five cities, and it sounds like we already have our top three, we can certainly put it to a ranked choice vote. So that said, I will state for the public, I will be expecting this, whether there's a motion on this or not. I will put forward the Etherpad, and I will make sure that people have the opportunity to suggest a city and what the amenities would be, and and if you can attribute cost as well, anything that you can factor in. I will certainly consider all factors that I can consider, and I'll put it forward for everyone to make suggestions on it. But otherwise, I would like to see suggestions on the Etherpad, because I do think Mobile is still very much in the running. Baltimore's still very much in the running, and Tucson, whether it's this year or next year, is still very much in the running. And I like the dark horse potential out of Sparks. So you guys are the best in the West. Thank you. That said, I think that concludes this piece of business, if unless there was anything else. Lily, what would be the next on the agenda?
Next on the agenda is a updated foreign policy plankton platform, and I want to stress that the intent is for this to be discussion only for this meeting. I don't want there to be an up or down vote, primarily so people have enough time to read it and actually think about it.
So, based on what I'm hearing, this is a submission from the platform committee for consideration, not for voting. It's not a final vote, or it's not being asked to be voted upon at this meeting. This is simply this is what we've come up with. We would like this to be discussed at the Pirate National Committee. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Lily, I do believe you already had it typed up. If you could copy and paste that, or if you had an Etherpad that it's pasted in, however you wish to do that. But from what I remember reading, it is an update to our foreign policy with certain things added that would be a little more concrete and things that we were trying to achieve, such as signing the Roman Statute, revoking the Hague Act, and there was a few number of other things, but. Lily, if you would be able to, thank you so much. So, Wanda, thank you. So I will read it as it is written, just so we can all discuss it as is. We advocate for the right to free association and self determination. People living in a political entity should have the right to maintain, alter, or conclude their relationship to larger entities or join in union if it is the will of the people. The foreign policy of the United States has not reflected those values. To hold ourselves accountable to the standards we expect of other countries, we believe the United States should ratify the Rome Statute and repeal the Hague Invasion Act, accept compulsory ICJ jurisdiction, ratify the Arms Trade Treaty to reduce the proliferation of conventional weapons, pay UN dues in full and on time. The same standard applies to what we fund abroad. We should give no military aid to any undemocratic country, including the genocidal apartheid state of Israel. In our own hemisphere, decades of embargo and sanction have punished populations without changing the governments they were aimed at. The United States has not been a good neighbor. We believe that through the OAS or other Pan American organizations, we should foster genuine collaboration and friendship. We should end the Cuban embargo, close Guantanamo Bay, lift sanctions in Nicaragua, and end the occupation of Venezuela. Legislation should be passed explicitly preventing the United States government and intelligence agencies from covertly interfering with elections anywhere. This is only a start to what needs to be done to repair relations in the Americas. Where sanctions and tariffs remain a tool of policy, they should be bounded in they should be bounded in time and should never be aimed at civilians. There should be permanent humanitarian exemptions and sanctions for food, medicine, and civilian fuel. Sunset clauses and mandatory congressional reauthorization should be attached to any sanctions or tariff regime. Our force structure should be sized to missions we can actually intend to carry out. The US military is far the most powerful in the world and is an unjustifiable level of overpreparedness. With the goal of reducing US military spending to 50% of its current level over the next 15 years, we should reevaluate our defense spending priorities and focus on reductions in capacity while maintaining readiness. The Pentagon budget should be cut every year if it fails an audit, and redundant overseas bases should be closed. While nuclear weapons will certainly remain an essential part of U.S. military capability for the foreseeable future, our nuclear strategy should be aimed at the eventual goal of a world without them. To that end, we should negotiate an expanded New START successor treaty to govern a mutual drawdown in nuclear weapons within a framework that can include all nuclear powers. We should adopt a legally binding no first use policies for nuclear weapons. We should ratify the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Congress must also reclaim its constitutional authority over the use of force. The 2001 AUMF should be repealed, and the War Powers Act should be amended to close loopholes and strengthen enforcement. The War Powers Act should be updated to require congressional authorization before introducing U.S. forces into any hostilities, except to repel an actual armed attack on the United States. Any such emergency use of force should terminate automatically, with appropriations cut off, absent congressional authorization within 30 days. Hostilities should be explicitly defined to include drone strikes, standoff strikes, special operation raids, offensive cyber operations, direct support to belligerents, and any other comparable use of force that successive presidents have used to avoid congressional oversight and conduct illegal wars. Individual members of conference should be granted standing to sue for unauthorized uses of force with expedited review and political question dismissal barred. That is as is currently written, and the link was posted in our chats for the sake of those who wish to read it at home. I will also paste that in our YouTube chats if it'll let me. But otherwise, that is currently what is being suggested from our platform committee. It is a pretty comprehensive update to what is currently our what is it called? Is it to our current foreign policy? It adds a few things that makes it a little more comprehensive. There is nothing we are voting on tonight, but it is just something that we wish to discuss. Rowan and then Blaze.
So, well, the first thing I want to ask is, uh, do we intend? Well, to be clear, I don't. I'm reading the content. I can't pretend I've been taken fully looked into every single bit of it. but it is also quite lengthy. So my question is this going to be like just our official stance on, let's say, like the wiki and or on like the longer format platform page, or like, because the thing is, I think, sorry, I'm thinking as a, from a PR perspective, I think it's always good to have a short form platform for people who just want to get like the basics down pretty quick. And there's another space for like long form where people like where we have the details like this, which specific policies we want to see changed. So I guess my question here is, and I know we're not moving forward with it tonight, we're voting on it tonight. I mean, um, but where would it end up? So I guess that's my question. So I need to look into it more. Again, I can't speak to the content fully. It doesn't sound bad from anything I've seen yet, but yeah, where do we plan on it ending up? Let's say hypothetically it did get passed. Where would it be posted?
Lily, I'll let you take that.
The intent would be for this to be on the official platform page on the website. This doesn't bar any use of a summarized or shorter version of the platform elsewhere.
Can I ask for the record, would this be a update to our foreign policy, or would this be a combining of the Pan American plank and the foreign policy? How would this ultimately look if adopted?
It would be remove the existing foreign policy and Pan Americanism plank and insert this. I know it's your baby.
You just
but-
pressed Mitch's buttons. You pressed Mitch's buttons. I can see it in his face. No, sorry.
My beef is only removing the words Pan Americanism, but that's beside the point. Blaze, go ahead.
Yeah, I have at least one question. In it says redundant overseas bases should be closed. Would you mind expanding on what you mean by redundant overseas bases? Thank you.
So a large number of overseas bases serve just to allow the U.S. to project force out in areas not directly defending an ally, such as I believe Diego Garcia. That one is absolutely redundant. But then other ones with U.S. allies, like in South Korea, are probably more useful if the intent is to help actual U.S. allies rather than just projecting force.
Thank you. Drew, you have the floor.
Yeah, I just to some extent, I just don't think this is radical enough. I think all foreign bases should be closed. I think we should not authorize the Army every year through the NDAA. I think that process should be ended unless we're in actual war. The only constitutional armed forces are the Navy, and that is the only. The Navy is the only perpetual armed forces that we should have. As far as I'm concerned, they have all of the forces that we need to protect this nation. They have air forces, they have ground troops, they have ships, they have nuclear weapons. Not that I approve of nuclear weapons, but they do have them. I think truly we should be much more radical with this. I don't think that giving any credence to a standing army is anywhere near what a pirate should be pushing for. That's just my opinion.
Right on. Thank you, Drew. Well, just to reiterate, this is not any adoption. This is currently just asking the Pirate National Committee to go over it as it is written and comments about how it can be improved. If it's not radical enough, it needs to be more radical. That's exactly why we're having such a discussion. So thank you, Drew. Blaze, you may go ahead.
I just noticed that there is no like stance against any nations that are against our values, such as the Russian government or the Chinese government. Would that be something that we can include to the foreign policy?
Absolutely. I just part of the reason no other governments were explicitly mentioned by name being against is I wanted to be very clear on the stance against Israel in the platform because of their horrific human rights abuses.
Perfectly understandable. It's just I feel like that
But
for
yes,
for governments like China and Russia, we need to have like an absolute strong stance on, because to not do that would be a very big mistake in my opinion.
all right.
Duly noted. Thank you, Blaze. Yeah, everything. Please, by all means, if you guys have suggestions to a foreign policy plank, do not bite your tongue on this one. This is obviously going to be returning to platform committee. They will be updating it, but they should be updating it with your suggestions. So if you guys have anything to add to this, by all means. If you remove the words Pan Americanism from this plank, I will evaporate you, condensate you, and precipitate you. So please reconsider. Uh, Wanda, go ahead.
I just wanted to ask that those with suggestions, could they please type them out somewhere, like the platform committee channel in the Discord, just so that we have them all written down somewhere and they can be considered at the next platform committee meeting?
Here, here. Absolutely. Thank you, Wanda. And that's a great point. So those of you watching, we have a YouTube channel. You're on it. We also have a Discord server, which is what I was trying to bring up. And in it, we have a channel for the platform committee. If you wish to be a part of this conversation more intimately, you may join us and get involved in that conversation. The link to our Discord is on our website. If I have the chance during our next conversation, I'll try to copy and paste it into this link in the description. You can refresh the page and it should be there for you. And if not, I'll just put that in the comments. But otherwise, yes, please get involved in this conversation and please do contribute your thoughts, opinions, and everything. Anything else on this subject? I am hearing nothing. Jamie, go ahead.
Just to be clear, this would replace the existing foreign policy statement, a platform position. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, because okay, yeah, fine, thanks.
Thank you. All right, right on. I hear nothing else in regards to this piece of business, so I will say confidently that this will be sent back to the platform committee with everyone's comments in mind. I do expect everyone that feels passionate about this to please show up to the platform committee channel, even if it's not during a meeting. Just leave your comments, and we can have a serious discussion about it, and we can work out something that everyone agrees on and everyone feels proud to call a part of the platform. So thank you kindly to the platform committee. Lily, I think there's one more piece of well, actually I will point out that there is a motion to table the last piece of business, which is the financial policy.
Sorry, I'm just tired and I have to be up early.
You're
Yeah.
so you're completely valid, Mars. Thank you. Uh Forgive me. That does need a second for the table. Am I off when I say that?
Second.
Second. Oh,
You guys rock. All right, cool. Thank you. So
And
so Lily, with the next week, I believe we can leave that into the old business. Was that just so we know what we're walking into next week? Is that also a similar situation where we're just discussing the platform as written, or is this a suggestion for adoption next week?
I
Um,
would like a bit of both. I would
this
like to discuss
this
and
isn't
then
the platform
also
item, to
possibly.
clarify.
Yeah, no, this is not platform.
Oh, it's not. Oh, I know what you. Okay, my apologies, Mars. I know what you're suggesting now. I forgive me.
Yeah.
I saw financial policy, and I was thinking.
No, this is my personal endeavor.
No, yes, I know exactly what you're referring to, Mars, and since it's your baby and you're motioning the table, I don't see anyone arguing that. So, we can discuss that as the first piece of old business next week if that should please the court. Uh, in that case, is there anything else tonight?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Are there any objections? I'm hearing none. Mars, Wanda really cares about you because I really thought she was gonna fuck with you right there and have us call the roll call.
I was
That
about
said,
to. I was about to joke about it too and say Wanda's gonna just object her own motion here.
It would have been funny.
It would have been funny. It would have
It
been
would-
very funny.
it would have been funny,
Just
but
please.
you were.
So it passed.
Yeah, yeah. Wanda's too late.
Adios.
Yeah.
Have a great
Bye,
day.
Jamie.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a good night, Jamie. And to all of you, have a great rest of your night. This meeting on August 9th is officially over. Thank you so much for being here. And before the rest of you cut out, Drew, do you know why I love this party? I love this party because we believe the United States should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said. I love that we're a party of state parties. And I believe, and we all believe, that if purchasing isn't ownership, well, then piracy isn't theft. Folk, thank you so much for watching. Vote pirate.